So everybody should clear about the agenda today, right? That the first we will see the installation on Windows 7, and the second we will test the Kafka installation is working perfectly or not. And then I will run and test multiple brokers on single machines, and we will explore the concept of replications, partitions, leaders, and then basic understanding of distributed software, actually how this distributed software works. Then Kafka cluster installations on multiple machines, and then when we will install the Kafka clusters on multiple machines, then we will test fault tolerance concept, scalability concept, and replicas, leaders, followers concept. Right? So let's start with the installations. Right. So as we know, the Kafka for the Kafka installation on any platform, so we need Java 8, right? So we know how to install Java 8 on Windows machines, right? So we can download from this URL, and we can install the Java 8. Once the Java 8 is installed successfully, so we will download Apache Kafka 2.0, 4.0. There the latest version is 2.5.0, but I have installed 2.4.0, right? To better install the same version as I have installed, right? So this file Kafka underscore 2.11 hyphen 4 2.4.0.tgs, we have to download this file. Actually starting 2.11 is the Scala version, and the Kafka version is 2.40. So don't be confused what is 2.11 and what is 2.40, right? In the file you will see 2.10, 2.12, 2.11 it will start with. So this is actually Scala version, so no need to worry about this. The rest after hyphen, this is the Kafka version 2.4.0. So you have to download these files, right? Once the files Kafka software is downloaded, then you have to extract on any drive where you want to install, like C drive, D drive, or any other drive. If you want to install, just extract there. Once your software has been extracted there, then we have to set Java home and Kafka home environmental variables, right? These two is very important. If you don't set this home environmental variables, then Kafka will not work. So let's see how to set this Java home and Kafka home environmental variables. So I'm using Windows 7. Actually, you can use this almost similar process you can follow on the Windows 8 and Windows 10, right? So you can go for my computer, right click on my computer, go to the properties, then select advanced system settings. Inside that advanced system setting, advanced tab, then environmental variables, click system variables, then create there the new variables Java home and Kafka home, and set the path of the Java home and Kafka home path. Once your path is set in this variable, then add the bin folder, Kafka home bin folder in the system path variables. So we will see the screenshot I have taken for you. This is the my computers. I right click on the my computers, then I select advanced system settings. After that I selected advanced tab, then here the environmental variables, right? Once I click environmental variables, another screen will appear, and under the system variables we have here new options, right? New button. Click on the new, create Java underscore home directory, home variables, and after that give the complete path of your Java home directory, right? So my Java has been installed in program files underscore Java underscore JDK, right? So backslash Java backslash JDK here, right? So I give the complete path of my Java home, right? And after that again I create the new Kafka home variables. So click on the new and then give the Kafka home as a variable name and give the path of your Kafka home directory. So I extracted my Kafka on the C drive directly, so I give the path of my Kafka. Once you are done with these two variables, now we have to add the Kafka home bin folder path in the system path variables, right? So I have taken a screenshot again. So what you have to do, you have to select this path variables. You can see right under the system variables we have to search this path, right? Path variables. Once you find this path variable, just edit that one, come to the end of this path, give the semicolon and give like percentage Kafka underscore home percent backslash bin backslash windows. This is very important step. If you don't write this thing, if you forget this thing, then the Kafka command will not work, right? Once you are done with this, your environmental variable is set. Now go to the command prompt and check whether the command is working or not. If not working, so what you have to do, you have to log out from the system and log in again and then check the command, right? Sometimes it doesn't affect, it doesn't export your environmental variable on the command line. That's why to export, you have to log out from the system and log in again, right? So all these steps you will see hands-on right now. So let's start. So I am on the Mac machines. So I will connect Windows machines remotely. Okay, now see, I am on the window machines. I am on the window machine, right? You can see. So I have downloaded and extracted here. You can see my screen, right? So I am on window machines and I extracted Kafka here, right? So once the Kafka has been extracted, we can see all this folder, right? So in that folders, I will create data folder to store Kafka data and the Zookeeper data. Right. So I have created the Kafka folders, I have created the Zookeeper folders here. Now check if the environmental variable has been set or not. So how we check actually, so we run this thing, this command, java underscore home to see, right? So it is exporting, right? It is exporting my file. It means my environmental variable has been exported. Right. So this is the way how you can check your environmental variables has been exported on the command prompt or not, right? It is also working. It means that has been exported. If in your case it cannot display this path, then what you have to do is just log out from the system and log in again and check again. Then hopefully you will see your environmental variables value, right? And to very easy step, just extract on any drive, set environmental variables, create the data directory. Inside that directory, you have to create another Kafka and the Zookeeper directory, right, to store some data separately, right? Once your directory has been created, now we need some configuration, right? So we have to go to the configuration folder here, and we have here file Zookeeper and the server properties file. To run the Zookeeper, we have to configure zookeeper.properties file, right? Edit that file. Just we have to set the directory of the Zookeeper where Zookeeper will store the data, right? So you can see, and you have to make sure here, you can see I'm using here forward slash. So normally the people make mistake here, they use the backslash, right? So we have to make sure that we have to use here forward slash, right? And we have to note down this client port number. This is the port number through which we can communicate with the Zookeeper, right? So this is the only Zookeeper configuration. That's it, right? For Zookeeper, and now we have to configure the broker here. So this is the server.properties file. To configure the broker, open that file, right? And we have to configure 4 parameters here, right? So let's see all these 4 parameters. The first important thing, the broker ID. By default, when you install the broker ID is 0, right? So leave it like that. No need to change right now. And now here the listener, right? Another one, the listener, because your broker is running the same machine, so I put here localhost. Otherwise, I'll put here some IP address if we run in the cluster, right? And the by default port number of the broker is 9092. Leave it like that. Just we have to add a localhost. Another important parameter here, you have to set that you have to set the directory of for the Kafka directory for the Kafka where the Kafka will store the data. But here, see this here, right? Data underscore Zookeeper. That the path is wrong. We have underscore data. Inside data, we have Kafka folder, right? So we will replace that one. That the Kafka must store their data in the Kafka folder. Right. So this path is very important. So we have to make sure that we are configuring the correct path, right? Once the Kafka broker path we have set here to store the data, then we will set the zookeeper connection. You will find here zookeeper. Because the zookeeper is running on the same machine, that's why I enter here localhost and the port number of zookeeper is 2181. This configuration is done now. You can run your Kafka cluster, Kafka brokers and the zookeeper, right? So this is the only configuration. Now let's start running the commands. Usually what I do to run the commands, I go to the configuration file. From here I run the commands. Now the first we know is, yesterday we have learned that the first we have to run the zookeeper. Without the zookeeper, Kafka doesn't work, right? Because the zookeeper stores the metadata. This is the command, right? Zookeeper server start, right? And you have to pass the zookeeper property as a parameter file. Zookeeper properties, right? So you can see, right? Now the bind did already on the port number 2181. Our zookeeper is running successfully, right? Now I will run the broker. To run the brokers, you know the command, right? Kafka server start and then pass the parameter file that is server.property file. I have configured, right? Now it is already. Now you can see here my Kafka broker 0 has been started already, right? Now my Kafka is running successfully, right? So now what we'll do is we will test whether the Kafka is running or not using the zookeeper shell. We will ask to the zookeeper that tell me about the information of Kafka cluster, right? So open the other terminals and now we'll test, right? Now this is the time to test. Zookeeper-shell, right? And give the zookeeper IP address and port number. So zookeeper is running on the same machine. The zookeeper runs on remote machine, so we will give the IP of the zookeeper server, right? But right now in our case, that zookeeper is running on the same machine. That's why I'm giving here the local host and the port number is 2181, right? 2181. Yeah. Yeah. Now you can see this is welcome to zookeeper. It will display, and now you can run that command. It will list you how many brokers is running, right? So see, it is listing only one broker, broker number 0. It will display the broker ID actually, right? So don't confuse the 0 means no broker is running, because in configuration in the Kafka broker, the broker ID is 0. It will list all the ID if you run multiple brokers. But right now I'm running only the one broker and the broker ID is 0. That's why it's listing to the broker ID 0 is up and running. Now we can check here the how many topics available. We have not created any topic, right? Okay. Now let's create the topic. To create the topic, we have a tool Kafka topic -- create. Where to create? Then I tell the zookeeper, so the zookeeper will update information, right? What is the IP address of the zookeeper, localhost, and what is the port? 2180. right? Now I will give the topic name. Topic name is test, and how many replication factors we want. So we will put here replication factor because only one focus is running. So maximum right now we can give the replication factor value is 1. If you give the more than 1, then it will show an error, right? And now partitions, how many partitions you want to create? So we want to create 3 partitions or 4 partitions, whatever you want, you can give the specify the value here, right? So I'm giving here 3, right? You can see even the changes in the log, right? And now the topic has been created, right, successfully, right? Now we want to list how many topics. Now I will ask the zookeeper shell, right? Here is the zookeeper shell, whether it tell us or not that I have created the new topic, right? So ask here. Now you can say, now you can see here the test is listing here, right? It means zookeeper knows everything. It is clear that zookeeper store all the metadata of the cluster. So what is going on in the Kafka server? So it will store all the information, right? So this is the like live demo that how I can get the data from the zookeeper, right? So we can see here if we have a many topics, it will list all the topics here, right? Right now we have one server, that's why it's listing here 0, broker 0, and I have only one topic, that's why it's listing only test, right? So let's try to create another, like I'm creating test 1 as well, right? Another topic I have created here. Yeah, topic has been created. Now test again. Ask zookeeper how many topics we have. Now zookeeper is telling that we have 2 topic test and test 1. It is very clear that the zookeeper store all the metadata of the cluster, right? So hope this you people can understand, right? Hello everyone.
Yes, sir.
Is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It is clear to everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
If any student participant has a problem, can ask questions.
I have one question.
Yeah, any doubts you can
Yeah.
put your
So
question.
the thing is like, so all the configuration, creating the producer, consumer, broker, everything we have to do through command prompt, or is there any other way like UI that we see in MQ?
Yeah. So see, in the first yesterday, I have shown you the 3 methods to install the Kafka, right? So right now, this is the very core that how we can do manually, right? And the second option was the Confluent platform. So through that Confluent platform, they provide something, right? The dashboard. Through dashboard, we can, and it is very easy to handle. That's where the big corporate they use the Confluent platform because this is the commercial. But for the
One
testing
thing, your
purpose, they
voice
use.
is actually cracking too much.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, there is,
Hello,
yeah, there is,
sir.
I am showing,
Your
hello.
your voice is bit cracking. It's not very much clear. That is what the participants are saying.
Okay. Now, what about now? You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I am telling that this is the one way I am showing you. This is the one way. This is not the last way. I am showing you. This is the method one, and there is the another method that you can use Confluent platform, right? Using that Confluent platform, this will be very easy to install and configure, right? So I have shown you because some small company, startup company, they use core, right? They don't want to buy any commercial software, right? They use this step, right? And you have another way that Docker. Somebody has installed everything and created a Docker image. Just you have to install the Docker image and everything is done for you, right? So this is good for the learning purpose. That's why I'm showing you the basics, right? If you run directly on the community, then you don't know what is going on behind the scene, right? So better start from here, and later we will see inshallah tomorrow sessions. I will show you how to install using Confluent. Then you will compare, right? Then you can compare that. Okay, for manual this was the I am putting the effort, and now the Confluent is very easy. Then you can compare both. Hope you understand.
Yeah, it's understandable. Thank you.
Yeah, inshallah tomorrow sessions I will show you the Confluent platform. Then you can compare, right? Okay. Any other question?
Any other question? Sir, you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's I have created the topic here, right? Now let me produce some data, right? So for producing some data, right, Kafka has provided some command line tool to test your system, right? Test my brokers. So I have Kafka console producer, right? Producer, right? So I will use this to produce the data, and I will tell like, and you have to be very careful while specifying the argument. Here we will use broker list. Here you need broker list, and I will pass the broker IP and the broker port number 9092. My broker is running on the port number 9092, and then I will tell to the producer that you have to produce data in the test topics, right? That's it. Kafka console producer, broker list, give the broker IP address and the port number, and then the topic name where you have to produce, right? If everything goes well, it will give you the prompt, and now you can type any message, right, for testing purpose, right? Now I will run the consumer, right, to consume the data. I'm testing here. Now Kafka console consumer. Here I will pass the parameters bootstrap server and give the broker IP address and the port number, localhost 9092, and from which topics, right? It has to consume the data, it has to read the data, right, from topics, right? So right now you can see here that the topic already has been produced, right? 3 topics. If I will run this command, then it will consume only the live data, right? It will not produce, it will not consume the previous data, right? So let's see, right? Maybe some command. Let me check. Options. Oh, I forgot to give the topic name. Right? Topic name is test, right? Consume data from test. Now, it is not receiving any message because this is the old message. This consumer will receive only the latest message. I will show you. Now I'm sending you new message, right? You can see the new message is coming in, right? If you want to receive the old message as well, then there is some parameters you have to pass, right? Message 4, right? So what parameter you have to pass if you want to run from the last message, the first message, right? So I'll run again one for consumer here to show you how to read the message from the beginning, right? So I will write Kafka console consumer bootstrap server localhost 9092, topic name is test, and now here I will tell to the consumer that read from beginning. Right, I am adding these parameters. Now this consumer will read the data from the very first message, right, which has been produced by the consumer, right? Yeah, you can see, right? It is very clear, right? If I don't pass from beginning, it will read only the latest message. If you want to read from the very first message, you have to give these parameters from beginning, right? And yesterday we have learned about the partition. So what about if I want to see the data from the partitions 1, I want to see the data from the partition 2 or only particular partition. It means I want to consume data from the particular partition. So first we need to check how many partitions are there, how many replicas are there, right? So now I will run another command from to check how many
I have a
partitions.
question here.
Yeah, hello, yeah.
Earlier you told like for offset that the data is in the form of sequential manner,
Yes,
but
yes,
if
yes.
we try to retrieve here, it is not in a sequential in order way.
Yeah, yeah. It is not in consume it, but you will get the data, all the data you will get. You will get all the data random, but it is stored in the sequential way. But while receiving the data, data will come randomly. Right? But the sequence number, it will check all the data you will receive. Let's say you have a 10, you have a 5 messages, right? 0 to 4. You will get all the 0 to 4 message, but maybe 0, 3, 1, 4, but you will receive all the messages. But it is stored into the Kafka, it is in the sequential way. But the while consumer has to read all the data and it will read all the data, regardless of the sequence number, but it will read all the sequence number.
Okay, but I think it should maintain the sequence even if we are retrieving the data from the beginning.
I think, as per my understanding, right, I'm doing that sequence. It doesn't matter if I have a multiple data and we have to process anyhow. I have to process all the data. I have to process all the data. So it doesn't matter actually. It processes all the data at the end, right? So we can create multiple consumers so that it will some process some messages consumed by consumer A, some messages consumed by consumer B. For the parallelize, it run all the process in one go. It will process. It will read the data in parallel. So even for the let's say you will say the message 0 comes first and message 2 come late. So first it has to consume message 0 or message 1, right? So for this type of application, we run consumer in parallel. So if you have 10 messages, or I can run 2 consumer, 3 consumer, 4 consumer to process all the record in the parallel, right? So there is no delay. Your data will be processed,
Got it. Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
So this is the now I will show you the detail here about the topics. How many partitions? So Kafka topics, right? And I want to describe. I want to see the detail. So I'll write the describe, and all we know that all the metadata is stored on the zookeeper. I will ask the zookeeper, and what is the IP address of the zookeeper, localhost, and 2181, the port number of the zookeeper, and I will tell to describe which topic you want to describe. You want to see the detail, right? So I'm telling that describe me the test. Right? Okay. Okay. And the port number 9092. Yes. Yeah. Oh, spelling is wrong this time actually. I have written the wrong spelling. Right. So we have to be very careful. Yes. CRIBE, right? This tribe. Yeah. You can see here, right? That the replication factor is 1 because I have running on the one broker only. So that's why while creating I give the replication factor is 1, but while creating I have given the partition number 3. That's why we have a 3 partition. And you can see all for all the partitions, broker 0 is the leader, right? 0. If we have a multiple broker, we can see the leader will be changed for different partitions. But right now, because only one broker, that's why only one broker is the leader. There is no replication. There are no replicas here. Only on one machine there is a replica, and this is the in sync replica. How many brokers are synced to each other? Because there is only one broker. That's why the broker ID is there only zero, right? Only zero. So it means if the broker zero is down, you will not get any data because I have not created any clusters right now. I have not run in multiple brokers. It means your data is available on only one broker. If that broker is down, you will not get any data. Clear? Hello?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
clear.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the other question is because we have seen yesterday that the data is stored into the partition, right? Okay, I want to read the data partition wise. How I can read the data partition wise, right? So now I will run the command to read the data from the partition, particular partition. Right now I was reading the data from whole topic, right? So Kafka console consumer zookeeper localhost localhost 2181 hyphen topic name is test, and I will tell here partition number, right? Partitions 1. Read the data from partition 1 and offset number from offset number 0. It is the first message is to start from the 0, right? So I'm telling the read the data from partition 1 and from offset 0. Okay. So, consumer, I need to pass it bootstrap server. Bootstrap server. So, and the port number is 9092. Yeah, you can see here, right? The whole data you have from like so many messages, message 1, message 2, hello. So this is the first 4 message, right? It means in the partition 1, you have only 4 messages and start from offset 0, 0, 1, 3, right? So like this way, if you write here offset 2 or offset 3, it will read the data like this. If you want to read the data from any partitions, you can read like this, right? So this is how these consumer partitions help to parallelize our consumer. At a time, we can run multiple consumer to read the data from the same topic in parallel so that they can process at the same time, right? So for this thing, we have to create the consumer group. We will have to create the consumer group. That's it. And creating consumer group is very easy. I will pass only the one parameter consumer ID and I will give some ID. Right. In this case, I am running 3 consumers, and you can see the 3 consumers are reading almost the same data, right? But because I'm running here partitions 1, offset 0, I'm running from here different parameters, right? We tested. So hopefully we will test this consumer group concept more as well. So hope this is very clear, right? Hello? Hello everyone, any question?
Any question? Sir, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now come to the slides. So we are done, right? With the installation, right? Installation pass has been done and we have tested already, right? Our system, right? By using this command, Zookeeper server already we have tested, right? Testing has been done. Now the third is we will run multiple brokers on the same machine, right? Right now we have run only one broker, that was the broker ID 0. Now I will run 2, 3, 4, 5 brokers on the same machine to test all these replica, partitions, leader, concept, right? So let's see how to run the multiple brokers on a single machine. So right now we have only one broker, right? How to test? Number of brokers available. So you have here this command, right? The brokers ID. We have only one broker. Right. Now I'm going to configure multiple broker on the same machine. To configure multiple brokers on the same machine, you have to do only one thing. Go to the configuration folder of your Kafka and create the multiple copies of the server.properties file. Right now we have only one broker, one server.properties file. I want to configure 3 brokers. I will copy another 2, right? So Control C, copy, right? And I'm renaming for my convenience. So I name it server 1, and I name it server 2, right? And this one is server 0, broker 0. This is broker 1 and broker 2. If you want to run 5 or 4, whatever, you copy. No, that time if you want to run 5, so I will copy 5, right? So just we have to change some broker ID and the path. So here for the broker ID 1, for broker ID, broker 0 is running, right? So now we will change the broker ID. The IP is the same. On the same machine, it will run the broker ID 1 as well. But we need to change the port number. We cannot run the multiple brokers on the same machine on the same port number, right? So it will conflict. So I am telling to the broker that broker has to run on the port number 9093, but on the same machine, and where the broker 1 will store the data, right? So the broker 1 will store the data into /data /Kafka 1. We will create this folder. Right now this folder is not available. We will create this folder to store the data of the broker 1, right? And then we will see here the zookeeper connection. That broker 1 will also communicate with the same zookeeper. We are running only one zookeeper, right? We will check, right? So because zookeeper is running on the same machine, right? No problems, and the port number is 2181. So these are the just configurations I said. Now the broker 1 is done, right? The same thing we will do with the broker 2. Now this is the broker 2, right? I will change the broker ID because the first is 0, the second one is the 1, and this is 2. You can give any different numbers, it's up to you, right? You can give a different number. Now the port number you have to change that the first broker is running on 9092, the second broker is running on 9093, and now this will run on 9094, right? And this will also run on the same machine. That's why there is a local host. Now see the path where this the broker 3 will store the data, third broker, right? So I'm telling okay, store the data on Kafka folder, in Kafka 2 folder, and zookeeper connections will be the same here, right? If there is any type of mistake, it will give an error, right? So while configure, you have to be very careful, right? So there's the local zookeeper connection, localhost 2181. Okay, I'm done, right? Configuration has been done. Now I have to create the folder, 2 folder, right? Inside the data. Now Kafka 1 for the broker 1. And Kafka 2 for the broker 2. It will store the data separately, right? Now I have done the configuration. Now only I have to run the server. To run the server, I usually go to the configuration file, and from here I run the server. Right. So Control Shift right click, I open the terminal. Now Kafka server start, and your server one dot properties. And this is how we can scale our system, right? I'm running my one cluster is running, and now I'm adding the brokers, right? Now you can see the broker ID 1 started already, right? Broker 0 is running here, and now I have run broker 1 as well successfully. So this is how I'm scaling the system, right? That we can add brokers later. Now better test here, ask the zookeepers how many broker is running, right? So we have already zookeeper shell. If it is not running, then I have to let's break this. We'll test later this producer. And now our zookeeper shell localhost 2181. ls broker site. Now you can see here the broker. And the broker 0 is up and the broker 1 is also up, right? It is very clear that zookeeper store all the metadata. We have multiple windows. This is very confusing. I have one zookeeper shelf. So now I have to run the zookeeper second zookeeper, the third zookeeper, right? Third broker, Kafka broker. So the Kafka server start and pass server that property file for the third broker. Yeah, you can see here the ID2 started already. It means I have successfully started 3 brokers on the same machine, right? And now you can ask the zookeepers how many brokers are running, right? So check brokers IDs. Now all the broker IDs 0, 1 and 2, all 3 brokers are running on the same machine, right? Any questions? Hello?
Any question? Sir, you can continue.
Okay. Okay. So we can see here that all 3 brokers is running successfully. Now we can test that we can create the topics, we can produce the data, and then we will see how we can, if I down one brokers, so how it reacts. We'll see all these things. Now I'm going to create now the concept of replica and the leader column, right? So I'm going to create topics. Kafka topic create. Test 2 I'm creating. Test 2 and I want 3 replica. I want on each machine the replica, right? And I want number of partitions is 6, right? 3 partitions we want and 3 replicas. Right? Because 3 broker is running, so it will run. If we will write here replica factor more than the number of brokers, it will throw an error. But in this case, because 3 broker is running, that's why 3 replica will be created, right? So now we can describe the topics here to see. all the information of Kafka topics, uh, describe, zookeeper, localhost 2181, topic name test2. Yeah, now you can see here, right? That the number of replication factor is 3. It means that topic has been created on 3 different machines, right? It has replicated on all machines with the 3 partitions. The partition number is 0, 1, and 2. And now we have to be very careful. See the leaders, right? So we have seen that leader concept yesterday. That leader will be for every partition we will have a different leader. So see the for partition 0, the leader 1 is there. Partition 1, leader broker 2 is the leader. And for partition 2, the broker 0 is the leader. And how many replica we have? So we have on all machines, broker 1, 2, and 0, 2, 0, all machines. And this is very important ISR list. It means that all leaders right now are able to become a leader. That's why you can see 120, 201, 112, all the broker ID is there. That all the replica, all the broker has the same data right now, right? But in the real time, when we produce the data is very huge. Then the followers lag behind, right? So when it will copy all the leaders' data, then it will list into the ISR list. If it is still like copying the data, then that broker will not be listed in the ISR list. Only the broker will list in the ISR list who has duplicated all the data from the replicate, or from the leaders, right? So that in case if the leader is down, the data can be available on the other brokers, right? So now let's see, produce some data. We will down some system and we'll see whether we are getting some data or not. Kafka console producer. Broker list, localhost 9092 from the topic test2, right? That we will produce some data in this topic. Then message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4, message 5, and let's see, I have, right, now see, this message has been replicated on the 3 machines right now, right, and we can get the data even if any machine is down, right. So I have produced the data, and let's see consumer, I can get the data or not. Kafka console consumer. (9092) topic test2 from beginning. Spelling wrong, I have passed wrong. Bootstrap server. Now we are consuming all the data, right? Now let me down some server, right? I want to down one broker 0, right? Still we will get the data from the other brokers, and we have to very careful here. See here, leader, who is the leader of the partition 0 and who is the leader of partition 1. You can see the broker ID. The broker ID 1 is the leader of the partition 0. Broker 2 is the leader of the partition 1, and the leader broker 0 is the leader of partition 2. Now I down this server. So see this one server 2, right? ID 2. You can see here in the message in the log that the ID, the broker ID 2 shut down completely, right? And who is the leader right now? For partition 1, leader 2, broker 2 is the leader, right? And leader 2 is down. Now the zookeeper will assign the new leader, right? We have seen in the slide that when the broker is down, then the zookeeper will assign the new leader, right? So see these things, whether it's assigning a new leader or not, right? So describe again and check the leader. Right now for the partition 1, leader, broker 2 was the leader, but I have shut down the broker 2. Now check the leader. Who is the leader of the partition 1 now? Now you can see here, right? The leader is changed already. Zookeeper has changed the leader. Now the broker 0 is the leader of partition 1. It means the producer will send the data only to that leader only. And you can see here the ISR list. In the ISR list, you will see now the 2 is removed from the ISR list because the broker 2 is down. Then only broker 1 and the broker 0 has the capability to become a leader, right? Even though we will get the data. Now see here. Now the broker 2 is down, even though we will get the data. Right. So consume again data. Run the consumer again. Yeah, see, still I'm getting the data, right? My broker 2 is down, still I'm getting all the data, right? Now let's try to shut down another broker as well. What happens if the another broker also down, right? So broker 2 is down right now. Now I will down another broker 0 also. I will shut down, right? See, this is the concept of fault tolerance. If your system is down, even though you are getting the data, right? Because it duplicates the data on multiple machines, right? Now my server 2 is also, broker 0 is also shut down, right? Also shut down. Now let's see who is the leader right now, right? So we can see the broker 0 was the leader partition 1 and partition 2. But right now the broker 0 is also down. So now the leader 1, the broker ID 1 will be the leader of all the partitions, right? Check and describe here. Now you can see, right? Because the broker 0 and the broker 2 is down, only one broker is left, and that broker 1 becomes the leader of all the partitions. And in the ISR list, you will see even the 0 is removed from the ISR list, right? So only one broker is available, and that broker is available to become a leader. If now this broker is also down, then we cannot get any data. Let's see that 2 broker is down, still we will get the data, right? So we will try to consume again. Run this console consumer again and check this whether we are able to get the data or not. Okay. Okay, let me check how many broker is up. Get me the data. it should get. One broker is running, right? One broker is running, and we should get the data from. Just to form between. Okay, let me produce some data first. Host 9292, but my broker is available, right? Broker 1 is available. Could not establish the connections. But the zookeeper is telling that we have one broker up and running. So broker 1 is running. Broker's IDs. Broker 1 ID is available. Okay, I have to check it why it is not accepting the connection. Still, we have one broker up and running, but it should accept the connection and it should consume the data because in the 3 brokers, 2 broker is down and the 1 broker is up, but it should get the data. Let's try to up again and check. It means if 2 broker is up, only we are getting the data. Maybe something missing here. So I will scroll and I will upload on some other videos, right? I will solve this issue. Even if the one broker is up, we should get the data. But here in this case, if we have a 2 broker at least, then we are getting the data, right? Even we have a 1 server is down, the broker 2. But if at least we have a 2 broker must be up, then we are getting the data. But it should not be like that. There is some issue, maybe something missing, that even the 1 broker is available, then the data should be retrieved, right? Hope you understand this, sir. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Is clear now? Any question? Hello?
Dear participants,
Hello?
dear participant, please, if you have any queries, you can ask to the sir. Is that clear? Please respond in the text, or else you can unmute your, audio. You can respond. Sir, you can proceed, or else.
Okay. Okay, sure, right? So we have tested already multiple brokers on the same machine, So we follow this process, right? We create 3 files and we configure all these parameters on 3 different files, right? We send the broker ID, or we have given the different port number, right? And this is how we have run the multiple brokers on a single machine. And we have tested like this every on each terminal. We have run separate commands, and we have tested all the scenarios. Now we will understand how the distributed software works. It's a very easy concept. You will see here in the diagram, it is very clear. In every distributed software, we have multiple components, and that component is capable to run separately on a different machine. But that machine must be in the same network, right? Suppose we have a XY distributed software, and in that software we have a 4 components there. So what we will do is we should have a 4 machine, and that machine must be into the same network, and we will copy this software on every machine, right? On every machine, and we will run separate component on different machines. Let's say in the first machine I run the component 1, on the second machine I run component 2, like this, right? This is the whole concept of the distributed system, that the distributed system has multiple components, and each components are capable to run on different machines, right? And this component will communicate each other. Hope this is clear, right? How distributed software works, right? So now we will install Kafka on the multiple machines clusters, right? So how this will be done, right? We'll see here. The same thing, the same process we will apply. That the Apache Kafka is the distributed software, and in the Apache Kafka we have a multiple components like zookeeper, broker, producer, and the consumer. So on one machine, on every machine, so we will copy this Apache Kafka software on every machine, and on each machine we will run different components. On the one machine I will run zookeeper, on another machine I will run brokers, on another machine I will run producer, on another machine like this consumer, on different machines, right? Hope you understand this. It gives you a clear picture, right? Any question?
Yeah. So two servers that we separately started. One is for Zookeeper and another one is for Kafka. So
Yeah.
they need to be in a single system, or both need to be?
Yeah. I'm telling you, for training purpose, we can run. Right now, we have run everything on the one machine, right? But in the real production server, what we do is we install on different machines. Like I'm showing in the diagram that Zookeeper run on different machine and Broker will run on different machine. But in this diagram, like brokers, I write the broker. Either I can run all the brokers on the same machine, or we will have a multiple machine for the different brokers, right? So we will see that right now in this demo that I will run the brokers on the different machines, right? So then there is the replication, right? Right now we have seen the replication has been done on the same machine, but in the reality what's happened, the replication has been done on different machines, right? So we will run brokers on some other machine, some other broker 1 is on another machine, broker 2 is on another machine. So we will see this demo right now. Okay, understood?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
For testing purpose, we can run on the same machine, but in the reality, in the production, we have to run on different machines, right? And all these components are capable to communicate each other. But the only requirement is that our system must be in the same network, right? See this, how I am going to show you demo, right? I have 3 machines with me. On one machine, I have installed Windows. On the another machine, I have Ubuntu. Another machine, we have Mac, right? And I will install the Apache Kafka and replica cluster. So we know that we need some networks, right? That system must be in the network. So what I did is that I turned on my hotspot of my mobile, and with this hotspot I connected my all 3 machines, separate machines. This is completely separate machine. There is no virtual machines. This is completely separate machines, right? So I turned on my hotspot and I just connected all these 3 machines, and this hotspot has assigned IP address. You can see 172.20.10.2, here 10.3, here 10.4 for the Mac. So very easy installation, we know right how to do on the Windows, Ubuntu and the Mac is very easy, the same concept. Just copy paste the software. So what I do is the Apache Kafka software I will copy on the Windows, I will copy on the Ubuntu and I will copy on the Mac. After that, what we will do, I will run Zookeeper on the Windows machines and the Broker 0 on the Windows machines, right? One broker will run on the Windows machine. On Ubuntu machines, I will run Broker 1, only Broker 1, right? And no Zookeeper. Zookeeper is there only on Windows machine, right? And on the Mac machines, I will run only Broker 2, right? It means our broker will run on the different machines. Even if the one machine is down, we will get the data, right? In this concept, exactly it will replicate the data on the different machine. But right now, what we have seen that we have run the three brokers on the same machine, right? For the testing purpose we have done. But in the reality, this will happen that the brokers will be run on the different machine and it will replicate the data on the different machine. So keep this picture in mind, right? You can also tell the same thing if you are three friends, bring the laptop together and turn the hotspot and you can implement this, right? Hope this picture is very clear. Shall I proceed? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's very clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm going to show the demo, right? Or- Actually, I have written all the configuration here. That will help. Yeah, you can see it. This is the configurations how I'm going to do and keep this configuration and the picture in your mind that I'm going to. So we have machines, Windows machines, Ubuntu machines, and the Mac machines. So as per the diagrams, I have this configuration that the Windows machine IP is 172.20.10.2, right? I will run the Zookeeper, I will run the Broker 0. So to do this thing, what we will do, I will create a folder on the Windows. Let's start hands-on, right? So just now I have configured the brokers on the Windows machine, but better remove all the logs, otherwise it will create a problem. So remotely I will connect the Windows machine. Let's terminate all the process here. So this is running on the single machine, right? Otherwise it will conflict. We know how to configure, right? It's very easy. Already we use this thing. So what I do is I just remove this folder, this complete Kafka, right? And I will copy the fresh one, right? I copy it, right? What I have to run here, I have to run here Zookeeper and the broker zero. Go there, right? First what we do is create our data folder, because I will run here Zookeeper. So inside data folder I will create folder for the Zookeeper and the broker zero Kafka to store the data, right? So I'll create here the Kafka folder to store the data of the Kafka, and I create the Zookeeper folder to store the Zookeeper metadata, because these two components will run on Windows machine, right? As per the diagram on the Windows machines, I will configure Zookeeper and the broker zero, right? So what we have to do is open the configuration file, right? And now is the time for IP address, configure IP address. Close all the old one file. First, open Zookeeper. Right, and give set the path where the Zookeeper will store the data. This is the path where the Zookeeper will store the data. And we have to make sure that we use the forward slash, right, change. If you will not change, it will show an error. That's it, right? I have set the path, and the port is the 2181. We have to remember this thing, that for every broker will communicate with this broker 2181. That's it. 2181. Save this one, right? Now we have to configure brokers. So there is a server.properties file, right? Remove this one. This is extra. Because I will run only broker zero here, we need only one file. So let the ID zero here, and now here, put here IP address of this machine 172.20.10.2. I think so. The IP address 122.20.10.2. If you want to check the IP address, I've done IP config, right? And we'll test here. On the window, we have to check actually for the window, right? So on the window machine, we'll check that. What is the IP here? 172.20.10.2. I have given the same IP here, and this will run on the 9092 port numbers, right? And where this Kafka broker will store the data, the Kafka broker will store the data on this path, right? I have created the Kafka folder, right? And what is the Zookeeper connections? So we will see here, right? So just change here the IP address, give the IP address of the machine. So IP address machine is 172.20.10.2, and the port number is 2181, right? Now done, right? I'm done with this configuration. Now I will run Zookeeper, and now I will run Kafka broker 0. Zookeeper server start Zookeeper dot all this parameter. Now successfully binding, right? Binded 2181. My Kafka, my Zookeeper is running. Now I will run my Kafka broker. Kafka server start, right? And pass server.properties file as parameters. Now you can see here the your ID Kafka 0 and broker 0 is done, right? So I am done on Windows, right? I'm done on Windows. Now, where we have to do? Now I have to go on the Ubuntu machines and I have to run there the broker one, right? Broker one. Okay. So I will log in remotely on the Ubuntu machine, SSH. This is my user ID. And what is the IP address of the Ubuntu? 172.20.10.3. This is the IP address of the Ubuntu machine. So you can see here I am on the Ubuntu machine now. You can see the path where I am in the home directory. Now you can see that I already copied here. I copied here the Kafka frame folder, right? So I can check the Java is there or not, right? Yeah, Java is working, right? Now I have to run here the broker one. No need to run here Zookeeper, right? As per the diagram, you can see Zookeeper will run only on Windows server, and now I will run the broker one here. So to run broker one, I have to create directory. Data Kafka, Kafka, right? I created one folder here inside the data folder to store the data of the broker, right? Now I have created the folder. Copy this because we have to configure this path in the server.property file that this broker should store the data in this path. Now go to the configuration folder. Right, config folder, and now you have here server.properties file. Open that server.properties file. You can see here server.properties file here. And now this is very important here. The broker 0 is running on the Windows machine. I will change the ID. Now the ID is 1 here. The broker 1 will run on the Ubuntu machines. Now the here put the IP address, right, of the Ubuntu machine 172.20.10.3 and leave the port number 9092. Right now there would be no any confliction because already the IP address is changed, right? The same port number is used on the Windows machine, but the IP address is different. So there is no problem that it will conflict. It's the combination of IP address and the port number. Broker 1 will run on this IP address with 9092. Windows will run on its IP address and on the port number 9092. Then there is no problem confliction. So that's why I'm not going to change the port number here. Right? Just remember to change the broker ID. Now set here the directory path where the Kafka will store the data. Now I have set the path and make sure that there will not be any typo mistake. Otherwise it will throw an error. Right? Now set the Zookeeper. This is very important. Now the Zookeeper is not running on your local machine. Zookeeper running on the Windows machine. So give the IP address here 172.20.10.2. Right? I have given the connection. Now this broker 1 will communicate with the Zookeeper, which is running on the Windows machine. My configuration is done. My configuration is done now. Just I have to run the broker, right? So how to run the broker? Kafka server start and pass this file as an argument, right? It is shutting down. If there is some configuration issue, let me check. See, maybe I had set the directory path and there is a problem in the path. Right. So let me check. First, let me check. Maybe there is any type of mistake or not. Broker ID is correct. Listener is correct. See the path. I have not given the complete path here. Right. Data slash Kafka, right? Kafka. Yeah, you can see the broker 1 is running already successfully. It means it is communicating with the zookeeper, which is running on the machine, Windows machine, right? So I'm done on the Ubuntu machine as well, right? Now the third step, right? Windows done, Ubuntu done. Now I have to configure on the Mac, right? And I have to run the broker 2, right? So let's start configuring on the Mac machine. So I'm on the Mac machine. See, this is the path I am here, and I extracted already that Kafka software already here, right? I have to run the broker too. Broker, okay. So what we have to do here is go inside. First, I will show you the horizontal variable. Already I have installed here Java, right? You can see the version Java 1.8 it is mandatory, recommended. If you don't install, it will not run, right? Now I will show you the environmental variable. Bash profile. Here in the home directory, you will get this .bash profile inside your home directory, right? You see here that I set here the Java home path and I added that path into the system variable path. Then I created the Kafka home directory path here, environmental variable, and added that variable into the path, system path, right? This is very important. So I have done already, right? I configure the environmental variable, Java is there, right? I already extracted the Kafka. Now go there, Kafka. Now go to the data directory. I have created already Kafka folder. I have created already, right? Already there is data. So let me remove this data, otherwise it will conflict. So I have removed here. There is nothing, right? Copy this path to configure your server.properties file. Copy. Now, where we are, okay, right? Now go to the configuration folder. Here you will have server.properties file, right? Server.properties file. Open that file. Server.properties file. And now I have a broker ID 2 already. I'm done, right? And now the IP address is 172.20.10.4 because the IP address of this machine is this .4, right? And I will leave the port numbers because the port number is default port number. It is running on the different machine. There is no conflict. So you can see here my path already set. I have set, right? Now see the zookeeper connection. You can see the zookeeper connection. That this is the IP address of the window machine. That zookeeper is running on the window machine on the port number 2181. That configuration is done. I'm done on the Mac. So now I will run Kafka broker. Kafka server start server.properties file path. Yeah, you can see we have run successfully the broker 2 on the Mac machines as well. So see, as per these diagrams, I have run everything, right? My one broker is running on the window, The broker 1 is running on the 1.2 and the broker 2 is running on the Mac, right? Hope so far so good. People understand this, right? Any question? Hello?
Dear participants, if you have any queries, please ask the sir, else we will continue. If you have any queries, please ask your doubts. So I think they don't have
Oh,
any.
yeah. Okay, let's see though. We have completed the installation of multiple machines, right? Now we will test the fault tolerance, right? We will create a topic, we'll put the data and we'll shut down one system and we'll check whether the data is coming or not. So as per the diagram, we will run the producer on one-to machine. We can produce data from anywhere now because all this machine is running in the same cluster. But for the demo purpose, I just put okay. I'll run the producer on the one-to machine, right? And I will consume from the consumer. When I will produce the data, then it will replicate on all three machines. All three machines. It will replicate the data on all three machines, right? So let's see. I'll connect Ubuntu 122.3. I'm connected, right? Now, one more thing, check the zookeeper using zookeeper shell command that how many broker is running, right? It's a very good command. To check broker is down or broker is up. Now here give the IP address of the zookeeper. So what is the IP address of the zookeeper server? That this one, right? Dot 2.2181. Now we'll see that it will complicate, right? I'm running on the Ubuntu, but I am trying to connect with the zookeeper, which is available on the Windows machine. Zookeeper server, zookeeper shell dot sh. Actually, on the Ubuntu, we run dot sh command. Yeah. ls brokers IDs. Now you can see here 3 brokers running, right? 0, 1, 2. All 3 brokers are up and running. Right. So let's see. Now I'm going to create topic. Create server and give the IP address of any broker. Now you have a 3 brokers, right? Or better to give the zookeeper ID. You have a 2 options. Either you can give the zookeeper because zookeeper knows everything, right? So better zookeeper and give the IP address of the zookeeper. That tell them the zookeepers, yeah, I'm going to create a topic. 2181 topic name test and then application factor 3, partitions 3, topic.sh. Always I confused. I'm working on 3 different machines. So here, sh. Topic has been created, right? Now let's just type this and check Kafka topic. Zookeeper 2181 topic. Yes, I need to describe. I'm going to create. Describe. Now you can see here, right, that the topic has been created with the 3 partitions and with the 3 replication factors. And the broker 0, it is running on the window machine, and the owner, the leader of the partitions 2, right? If any broker will be down, any machine will be down, the leader will be changed, and you can see the ISR list is very important. Right now, all 3 brokers are eligible to become a leader, right? But it doesn't happen in reality because in the corporate, all the leaders read the data and it takes some time, right? So some brokers may get 100% data, some may get 90%, and it takes time to copy the data. So once the 100% copy has been done from the leader, then that broker ID will become in the ISR list. And if some broker is still reading the data, then that broker will not come into the ISR list. Right now we don't have much data. That's why all the brokers is in the ISR list, right? So let's just produce some data. Producer. Broker list and give some broker ID, anyone. Either you can give all the list or you can give any broker, like any broker, anyone, at least one broker IP address and the port number you have to mention here. Right, 172.20.n.3 I'm giving the Linux machine IP address. Now I have to tell where to produce data in the test folder topic. Hi, message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4, message 5. Then you are producing the data, right? On the Linux machine, right? I'm done with that, right? What I will do, I will get the data from the Mac machine, right? I will run the consumer on the Mac machine. So see, it is all working in the distributed manner, right? Broker is on the different machines. I am producing the data on the different machines. I will consume from the different machines, right? So now I am here on the Mac, right? I am on the Mac. Now I will run here console consumer, Kafka, console consumer. Bootstrap server. And then give the IP address of any one of the brokers. Any one of the brokers, right? Let's say I give 2. Topic. From where to get? From the test topic. And from beginning, right? Now see, all our components running on the different machines perfectly, right? So we have tested everything, running Zookeeper on the window machines, broker 0 on window machines, broker 1 are running on the Ubuntu machine, and broker 2 is running on the Mac machine. I produce the data from the Ubuntu machine and I'm receiving the data on the Mac machine, right? Everything is working perfectly on different machines. All these machines working together under a one cluster, right? It made a one cluster. So I can get all the data, right? So in this case, data has been replicated on different machines, right? So I want to see exactly data. Where is the data in the folder? So let's see today, explore the data on the hard disk, right? So first I will see where is the data. Because I have created a replication tree, it means it will copy on all 3 machines, right? For the test, right? So I will see on the directory, where is the data? So first I will check on the machine, Mac machine. Let's see on the Mac machine. Go to the data. CD Kafka and see here, right? You will have test 0, test 1 and test 2 because this is the partitions. I have created this. The first is the topic name and after that is the partitions number. It means I have created the 3 partitions. These partitions we have some data, right? So see encrypted form data, you see here, you can see here, right? In this part we have some data here, right? And we will explain this in the next class. What is the log, time index, inshallah, tomorrow we will explain. So here our file is there, right? So we will see that when we have created any topics, then it goes to the directory, what directory we have specified in the configuration file, and whatever the number of partitions we will give, it will create the same number of directories, like test 0, test 1 and test 2, because I have created the 3 partitions there, right? So So see the data available on the Mac, right? The same data you will get on the Windows machine and Ubuntu machine as well, right? So connect, I'm already connected right on the Ubuntu machine here. So let's explore here. Go to the Kafka folder, data, Kafka, and see here as well. Data has been replicated already, right? See here. Even here, it has been created 3 partitions with the for the test topic, right? Now check on the window machine, right? I'm on the window machine, Kafka, right? You can see here, right? See this our folder, right? I have created the test topic with the 3 partitions, right? That is created test 0, test 1, and test 2. It means the replication has been done successfully internally, right? You don't need to worry about the replication. Now, even if my servers, which is running on the brokers on the window machine, if down, we will get the data, right? Now let me describe that who is the leader of a particular partition, right? And now I can run any command on any machines, no problem, because all these 3 machines running in clusters, right? Kafka, topics, describe, zookeeper, and give the IP address of the zookeeper. What is the port number of the zookeeper? And the topic name to describe. We can see here the leader 1, leader 2, leader 0. Now I will shut down the leader 0, local 0 on which is running on the window machine. Right. This is the window machine, and I'm running here broker ID 0. I have shut down this broker server 0. I have shut down, right? Completely shut down this. Now describe again. Right, now leader has been changed. Now the broker 2 become the leader of the partition 2, right? Still you are getting the data, right? Maybe it will take some time to update. One broker is down. Yeah, better keep here because the 10.2 is the broker of the window, already it is down, right? So we'll give the some other broker ID. Still you will get the data. Because data has been replicated already on the different machines, right? So this is how this fault tolerance works. If one machine down, no problem, you will get the data. Yeah, you can see, right? I'm getting the data, right? My broker 2 is down, broker 0 is down, still I'm getting the data, right? I can read the data, right? Even from particular partitions, I can read the data, right? So who is the leader now? Because before the leader was broker 0 was the leader. Now for the partition 2, the broker 2 becomes the leader. So we can get the data partition wise as well. So let's see. Yeah. Right. partition to offset. Let's say I want to start reading from the offset to offset. Whatever you number you can use, right? Where we are running the broker 2. Broker 2 is down, 3 and 4 is up, right? From beginning, right? From beginning we can get the data. Now we have to get the data from partitions. That's true. But still we are getting the data. Stop. Yeah, we are getting all the data from the topic directory, right? This is working fine. But I have to check from the partition. Right? That I can get from partitions. Icon, partition 1, offset 0. Yeah, I can get, right? For partition 1 I can get. Let's check partition 2, right? Yeah, in partition 2 we have only one message 5, right? Yeah, it is possible that in some partition we don't have any message. This could be possible, right? Yeah, we have, see, we have different messages, right? So hope this concept is very clear, how it is working on the multiple machines, right? Now we have done this fault tolerance, right? If we machine is shut down, we can get the data. Scalability is also is that we can add machine anytime. If we, let's say our processing we want more power speed. So what we have to do, we will configure the machine and just we will point out the Zookeeper server IP. That's it. That is enough to scale the system. Just create total one machine, put it to the same networks, right? And download the Kafka there and just set the Zookeeper's connections to where the Zookeeper is available, right? So that is enough and it will automatically add to the cluster, right? And we have seen already Replica leaders, followers, how it works on the Kafka clusters. Hope this session is useful and you understand the concept, right? Any questions? Hello everyone.
Hello students, the session is open for the questions. If you are having any questions, you can ask to sir.
So if you have any problem, if you want to ask, you can write me directly on sabirhassan@yahoo.com. And I have created one YouTube channel especially for the Kafka, right? So I will show you demo directly. If you have any problems, write me there. I will create a video and upload there. You can see the live, right? Okay.